So in ancient Rome, temples honouring a particular god were usually constructed outside of cities. Which god was it, and why did Rome have a shrine to that god anyway? So in ancient Rome, temples honouring a particular god were usually constructed outside of cities. Which god was it, and why did Rome have a shrine to that god anyway?
Is it something you don't want in a city?
God of travellers, the god of... I'm thinking patron saints, not gods here. That's a very different religion.
You're not far off with things you might not want. That's not a bad shout.
Death.
Wasn't the god of death.
I was immediately thinking god of the countryside, because you would want the god of the countryside in the countryside. You wouldn't want them in the town, would you?
I mean, I'm not being completely wrong with saying that ancient Greece had gods of, right? There were... I think I'm okay with my mythology there. There are gods of love, gods of war in a lot of the ancient religions.
So to clarify, it's ancient Rome, not ancient Greece.
I mean, okay, so they definitely had, like Mars is the god of war, right? We named planets after specific Roman and Greek deities.
Jupiter, Saturn.
Yeah.
I mean, you wouldn't want war in your city.
That's true.
Yeah, it's going to be something that you don't want in your city.
War, pestilence, disease. I'm going off the four horsemen of the apocalypse now, and that's again the wrong religion, belief system, whatever. That's...
I can't think of anything that I don't want in a city now.
but that you would still have a god of.
Yeah, so it's something bad that you still worship.
Or maybe you worship for it so it doesn't happen. People might still give offerings to stop that thing from happening. So like you might want to have like, I suppose things like crops were important. So was there like some ritual of like, I don't know.
So you're very warm, Ruth, with this idea of something you perhaps wary of happening.
And it's not war.
It's not war.
Fire. You don't want fire in a city, but sometimes you do want it outside because it will help the growing cycle or something like that. Is there a god of fire?
Vulcan, I think.
Vulcan.
Absolutely smashed it. Yes, it is indeed.
Well done.
Vulcan, the god of fire.
Oh, wow. Okay.
You were like, yeah, absolutely smashed it.
See, this is where the trivia brain from Dan comes in. Because I'm like, is there a god of fire? I don't know. And he's like, yeah, it's Vulcan. It's Vulcan.
Yeah, so you've got kind of the first part of the question. We are indeed talking about Vulcan, the god of fire. There is a second part to this question. Why did Rome have a shrine to that god anyway? When they were usually constructed outside of cities.
I mean, fire is needed for life, you know.
Aqueducts. Rome had aqueducts. Rome had a fire service because they could bring enough water in to have a fire service. I was really confident about that. And then everyone on the call is just kind of looking at me like I'm an idiot. So I'm probably wrong there.
I think if Tom Scott says anything with conviction, like you sort of believe it, don't you? It's sort of that's kind of like you've got the voice for it.
I was going to tell my firefighter sister about the Roman firefighters that Tom Scott told me about.
This was a problem in early episodes of Lateral. I kept making jokes in my authoritative voice, and I've kind of trained myself out of that. That wasn't a joke. That was just me going, it's aqueducts. They were made of lead. There were wild theories that that's why some of the Roman emperors went mad, because all their water was lead-lined. It probably wasn't, but...
Rome was famed for its baths, though. They definitely had, hot baths and things like that. So they definitely had lots of heating. So did they have like a permanent fire sort of in the middle of Rome that they kept sort of feeding so that they could always have a hot bath in the middle of the city or something like that? So is that why they would also worship fire?
It's not a specific sort of fire-related reason. I will clarify that.
Dan, was Vulcan the god of anything else?
Yes, the god of Mr. Spock. Yes,
there we go. What is live long and prosper in Latin? I don't know, but I guarantee nerds will.
Absolutely.
Is it to do with light or something? So you could see, like, at night?
Did they have street lights back then?
It's not related to lighting. You were kind of hitting the nail on the head earlier in this idea of like trying to avoid fire and being wary of fire.
So, was it a negative worship? Was it we are worshipping you so that you don't visit us?
So that you can control it, so that you can pray that it goes somewhere else and damages your enemies instead.
Oh.
Yeah, so these are all sort of reasons why they had the statue, but not reasons why the statue end up in the city, not...
Is it that Rome grew? is it that they built it outside of the city, but Rome eventually, you don't build it in a day, so I've heard, but over a few decades, it slowly expands, and thus what was the city boundaries is now bigger and bigger and bigger, and now it's in the city.
So yes, it was absorbed into the city limits as Rome expanded.
I bet the house prices around there were very low.
So yes, Vulcan was a god of fire, so building his shrine away from the city's buildings was seen as a safe thing to do. And in addition, the temples were often associated with forges and metalworking, sparks of which could set a city ablaze. And the shrine in Rome, called the Vulcanal, or Vulcanel, it's another one of those like squeezing two words together.
I mean, it sounds like you're swearing again, but never mind.
It does. It was an open-air altar on the Capitoline Hill. And this temple to Vulcan was originally constructed outside of the city, but as Rome expanded, it was absorbed into the city proper.